Hey everybody, welcome back. Today I've got a special video for you. I'm going to be unboxing and reviewing the Tomy Collector USS Enterprise 1 350 scale model. This model is a die-cast replica of Kirk's classic Enterprise, complete with lights and a working shuttlecraft bay. This product is a result of a crowdfunding campaign that took place last July. Only about 2,500 of these have been produced, and I've waited over a year for it to arrive, so I'm very excited to check it out here with you today. The first detail I noticed upon opening the box is that it has the round nacelles on the warp engines, not the vents that you see on Pike's Enterprise, so this is definitely Kirk's ship. This is really interesting. It's got like what looks like some sort of a turret or something down there. After shooting this video, I did some research and found that this dome is called the Planetary Sensor Array. That red tip is a nice little detail they added. I never knew it was there. It's barely noticeable in the shots that we get on the show, but its profile is noticeable if you look closely. Keep watching because that little detail is going to be significant in a moment. No! Did I accidentally step on a piece? Fuck. Unfortunately, I stepped on the shuttle bay door and put a dent in it, and I also put a little hairline crack right down the center. This disappoints me because I thought this was supposed to be a die-cast metal, so you'd think they make the shuttle bay door out of metal too, but nope, it's made out of plastic. This is pretty heavy. It's nice and solid. So it rotates like that. Looks like there's like a little phaser. I think this is like some sort of a phaser turret or something like that. So how do we turn this on? It lights up. Now it's interesting, there's like some marks here. I think this is like dirt from shipping, but it looks like the Enterprise has kind of been through something, as there's like some scorch marks. I actually think that looks kind of cool, like it's been traveling through space, but a little bit unexpected. Oh, I can't put it down. It says that you have to keep this upside down, or else you crush the little tip of the sensor probe on the bottom. It says it's very fragile, so I can't put it down like this. I have to, if I'm going to set this down, I have to set it with the bridge bubble on top. Don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe if you're enjoying this content. I really like how solid they made this connection here. When I was a kid, I had another plastic model of the Enterprise that I built, and this was always a point of breakage. I was losing warp engines every time I play with it, but this is a pretty solid connection right here. I can't really tell what type of batteries these are. The wrapper's kind of coming off of one of them here. Look at the detail on this. I really love the paint job. There's a little bit of shading of blue here. I wonder if these like weird, they look like burn marks or something, or intentional. Kind of like on the primary saucer, there's some scorch marks here. There's like space debris burns or something running across. But I don't know, I actually kind of like that detail. It makes it look like it's been through space. The button is right there. It's like a touch button, so whoa, it's making a sound. Putting on the deflector dish, goes on like that. I love the level of detail. So one of the features of this model it was designed to detach the saucer, just like the original blueprints were for the Enterprise. It was something that we never got to see on screen, well, until Star Trek Continues.
Sulu, I hope you remember your simulator sessions.
If you want to, you could display these as two separate ships. Now, I'm not exactly sure if this is able to hold the weight so that you could display it like this, because that's a lot on that one screw right there. Screwing this Allen. Overall, looks like you can display it this way. Here's the Enterprise. Love it. But I think you probably want to, you could also put this base on it like that to give it some extra support. So turning this around. One final detail here is the shuttle bay, and it comes with 3 little shuttlecraft. You get the famous Galileo 7 shuttlecraft, shuttlecraft number 6, which is named Einstein. As you can see, mine arrived with a little bit of damage to the nacelle. Einstein was featured in the episode The Doomsday Machine, and it was one destroyed by Commodore Decker. The 3rd shuttlecraft is named Columbus, which is briefly seen inside the Enterprise hangar deck on the episode Journey to Babel. In the original TV show, the only one of these vehicles ever referred to by name was Galileo from the episode The Galileo 7. The names Einstein and Columbus were added in the special effects shots when CBS Digital did its re-release of the original Star Trek effects in the mid-2000s. I'm really amazed at the paint job on these craft. They're so tiny, but you can still make out the names. However, there is a really conspicuous seam running along the port side edge of these vehicles, which unfortunately I think detracts from the detailed effort that they put into the paint job. The shuttlecraft bay is one of my favorite features of this model. It's one of 2 spots that you get a peek inside of the Enterprise, and the lighting is so cool. Along with the shuttles, these features give you a sense of scale as to the size of the ship. You could snap this door on top of it, and I've already damaged the door by accident, but this door snaps on. Now I'd like to give you a tour of the saucer section. There's a yellow button just behind the bridge that toggles lights. Push it once to turn on the saucer navigation lights. Push it a second time to activate the impulse engines. Looking inside the dome, you can see the bridge. You can see the captain's chair and all the operational stations, even the offset turbolift door. A big criticism fans have had about this model is that so many of the seams and screw hole covers are visible. In particular, the seam where the saucer separates from the primary hull neck is very noticeable. When I was initially reading about this campaign, many were concerned about the look of that saucer separation seam. However, the Tomy company tried to promise that the finished product would have very discreet seams. Apparently, they failed. In fact, I think the demo model in the marketing pictures looks a bit more finished than this product because of those screw hole covers. The engineering issue was so bad that Tomy sent out an apology email to campaign supporters explaining the shortcoming. Well, I have some really bad news. As I was lining up for the final shot to tell you guys to like and subscribe to my channel, I was adjusting the stand and I broke that little red tip off of the sensor dome. And I have no idea where it went because it's so tiny. This piece seems to be made of plastic. Now, if this whole thing was made out of die-cast metal, you would think a weak point like that would be like a metal part that they make that shouldn't be so fragile that it busts off when you're moving the stand. I mean, in the instructions, it says, do not crush the sensor probe. Warning, do not crush the sensor probe. It says it twice in the instructions, but my God, it's so fragile. Like, it was a complete accident. I was being very careful with this thing, and somehow that still broke. So I'm not sure what to think of that. I would have expected a little bit better quality from a die cast, because I mean, most of this thing is metal, I think. Here I finally located that tip. It was under the stand right there.
Bruh.
That is definitely a plastic piece.
Bruh.
It's a bit disappointing. Well, it seems that we have a warp engine malfunction here. So when I turn on the motors to run these things, it'll run for about 30 seconds and then it'll shut off. Let me show you. Oh, it didn't even run that long. It automatically shuts off. Let's give that another try. Powering up engines. Uh-oh, there's some type of malfunction going on. I don't know why it's automatically shutting off like this. I'm going to try to replace the batteries and see if that fixes the issue. Okay, so I'm going to test the voltage on these batteries, and we'll see if maybe they're just low quality batteries. And 1.27 volts, 1.27, 1.28, 1.27. Now, I think they should be 1.5 volt batteries. They don't seem to be of very good quality, really light. I'll get some batteries with some fresh antimatter. Powering up. Alright, they're running a bit longer now. Okay, I'm going to put the engines on the next level of power. And there's one faster speed than this. Alright, all seems to be going well. Well, this wraps up my review. Despite a few weaknesses in quality like the obvious screw holes and the easily broken plastic parts, overall I really enjoy this model of the Big E. The metal frame makes this the most solid feeling Enterprise model I've ever seen, especially when it comes to the warp engine pylons. Some features I really wish this thing had though would be 1. A remote control to turn it on, because what if you have it in a display case or you just don't want it touched, but you still want to enjoy the lights? And when it comes to lights, an external power source would have been nice too, because it would be fun to keep this thing running continuously for an extended period of time. And finally, it would have been a nice effect if they add a few sound effects to this thing too. Maybe a warp engine power-up sound or some photon torpedo sounds would have been nice. But I'm really glad that I made this purchase. It's going to make a great display piece. Well, this concludes my review of the Tomy Collector USS Enterprise model. I hope you enjoyed watching this as much as I had fun making this video. If you did, smash that like button and subscribe to my channel. See you in another video.